Hey traders, this is William from BearableTraders.com, and today I want to share with you my CVS trade, and it was a one and done trade with one stop out. And we've got something special here, so stick around. So what I saw on CVS pre-market, and I called this out in the chat that it looked very weak. If you see the 5-minute here on CVS, it looked like it was in a downward trend following the 9 moving average down. So I wanted to short it actually to get down to 52 was my target. I didn't get the entry. I wasn't able to be quick enough with an entry, and I didn't want to chase it for an extension. So as I was watching it, made a huge dump right here. And then on the 5-minute, let me show this again. It made an inverted hammer right there, okay? Or a bear flag. You can look at it both ways. If it breaks down, it becomes a bear flag. If it holds, it's an inverted hammer setup. And I saw it as a bottom because I saw that 52 level as major support. From daily chart, when I looked at this daily chart, which was right here, was able to hold this $52. Now remember, this is a range. It's not a hard number all the time. So I saw it as the 52 support, so I was buying at a real daily level. It broke through on the 5. Let's look at the 1 actually. So you can see I got filled right here. It broke through my support right there, so I instantly got out for a 10-cent loss. But then I saw flashes of green on the level 2. Over here was just flashing green, so I realized this is a false breakdown of support, and the support's gonna hold. So I re-enter right away, okay? I get right back in. My first risk was 10 cents, and I got out with a 10-cent stop with no slippage. This trade was a 4-cent risk, okay? I was only risking 4 cents, which is really good for a stock like CVS with a 1-cent spread without too much slippage. So I got right back in. It wasn't a revenge trade. It wasn't a FOMO trade. It was reading the level 2, using the daily as support, the 5-minute inverted hammer false breakdown of the bear flag, okay? So then you can see this. We have to keep our losers short and let our winners run. That's the name of the game. We have to accept being wrong and take an independent setup. So then here was my second entry. My risk to reward on this was about a 4, 5, or 6 to 1. And then I went up, partialing out every 10-cent increment, okay? So risk, and then here was the reward for 50%, another like 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. Each level of 10-cent increase, which was about a 1.5 to 2 times risk reward if I was risking 4 cents. Every time I profited, it was 2 to 1 risk reward. And you can see on the 5 what that looked like. It was pretty clean price action, okay? You get this, you get the inverted hammer, the fake out, then you get a nice engulfing candle, a little bit of a pullback, and then it runs, okay? Now where does it stop out? Not sure where it found a resistance up here, but I took the majority of my shares and I've only got like 2% left. I'm letting it run. I've got a limit order out here and a stop order back at my break even. So another trader, Thor from our chat, who's been doing amazing, he traded WB, and this is his chart. And if we compare his trading, the WBA chart to the CVS chart, they look exactly the same here. And we're gonna see, actually, let's just bring Thor on here. Thor, come in and share your trade with us. Tell us your setup, your risk reward, and how you did it. Give me a sec, man, and I'm gonna share your screen. It's coming up, it's coming up. All right, Thor, you're on, man.
All right, hey, thanks for bringing me on. So, as he was talking about here, you can see kind of almost in the exact same way that his stock was behaving, my stock was behaving very similarly. Now, what's interesting about this is that although we were trading in the same chat, we were not trading together. We weren't calling out. This just kind of happens to be, you know, two people reading different stocks, but in a very similar way. So as you can see here on WBA, that same inverted hammer occurred on the 5-minute chart. And that's really, and that was after it had bounced off of an all low of about $55. So as he had his $52, I had my $55. It was $55.01 actually. So when it came up and it came back on the next 5 minute and it failed to get all the way back to 55 and it came back off of it, it really caught my attention and it came through some averages here. So if you're looking on my 1 minute chart, you can see here it starts to punch through the averages. Now, actually, in a very similar way, I actually thought this is where my long was going to be. So I went ahead and took this long here and set a tight stop in case it broke back down, in which it actually didn't stop me out. I was going to wait for the setup to get a little bit better, but then I noticed it came right back down to hold the average. And I was really thinking, and then it actually, if you could watch what the price action was doing, this candle was actually popping up all the way here down over and over and over again. And the buy orders just started to flood in. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to do it. I took it long again, set another tight stop, but this time it held the average and then it shot up. And then very similarly, I took a partial here. This actually got me back out of my negative profit from this trade, plus a little bit more. And then I started partialing up the averages, which is similar. But I kind of said as I'm getting those same 10 to 15 cent moves as they encounter the average, I took a partial here. I set a limit at VWAP, 55.98 got filled. Set another limit as it crossed. And then I said, and then I took off the vast majority of my shares remaining here at 55.26. That was actually a P&L move. So I had hit my P&L for the day at that point, and I still had about some shares left. Went ahead and locked those in. And for me, what I do is I feel like the stock has lost its momentum if it manages to break back through the 50 and 20 on the 1 minute. So I set my stop profit, if you will, right below that. That way, if it came back through and break through, it gets me out. As you can see, it did come back up here again, but again, it failed to make that high. And the stock itself, if you look down here, has continued to kind of dwindle. So it really shows how that once that momentum died, if you want to tie up your buying power in a stock that's going to start to range, you could hold it. I mean, if I had held it for my original break even, I probably would still got stopped out as it came exactly to that point. I'd have been really frustrated about that. Otherwise I'm pretty happy with this exit to lock in the remainder of my profit. Done for the day. You can see basically all traded through a 1 5-minute candle, all said and done through 1 15-minute candle. So hope you guys like that one. And it is pretty interesting how much it traded exactly like CVS.
Yeah, awesome job, Thor. And hey, one thing I'm realizing right now from looking at your charts is that look at this move on the 15 you got, right? You got it near the bottom, then you got near the top, and then look at this. This is chop, inside candles, candles. It might explode one way or another once it breaks, but that's the beauty of the opening 15 minutes, opening 30 minutes, or the first hour. That's where the real moves comes in. So if we get in, get out, make really smart plays, practice good risk reward like we both did today, partial out how we want to, then we're done. Great job, Thor.
Yep. Yeah, and free up your buying power. There's no need to, this just isn't going to get you any more money really today. Get out, if it's not moving, get out and start looking around. I know we have some other guys in the chat that have grabbed some good moves on some other stocks that happened after this. And if you just leave your buying tied up waiting for something to happen, it's not the best way to get your profit. That's for sure.
All right, man. Thanks for sharing. Great trading, and hope you have another great day tomorrow. And I'll see you tomorrow in the chat.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me on. Stay green, brother.
Yeah, later, man.